Now that we've seen how Datahaven's AP automation tool can process PO-based invoices, let's take a look at how it can handle non-PO. Now, some of the key benefits here are going to be how Datahaven's going to be able to identify duplicate invoices and how we're going to be able to eliminate the need to key in information. Now, to begin, let's take a look at a duplicate invoice. Here we've had an invoice that has come in, and if we look over on the right-hand side, we can clearly see that Datahaven has marked this as a duplicate, meaning it's looked at Business Central and seen that this vendor already has this invoice number process. So at this point, what we want to do is really just submit this into an exception workflow or just delete it from the system altogether. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this. Now let's take a look at a non-PO invoice where we're really going to save some time because no longer are we going to have to key this information into Business Central. Datahaven has identified the fields. Once again, this is a new invoice, so the confidence levels need to improve a bit. But even still, with these confidence levels, Datahaven has identified all of the fields correctly. And as you hover over any particular area or click on it, it will take you directly to where it extracted that information. On the right-hand side, we can see, once again, this is a non-PO invoice. It's going to be routed. In this case, since it's non-PO, we want to initiate an approval workflow. So we are going to route this into an approval workflow. I can type a note into the posting description. And below it, you can see where we are going to code this invoice. Now, Datahaven does have the ability on the vendor card to allow you to specify defaults for any vendor. In this case, we've identified that for this vendor, we want to create a summary line purchase invoice within Business Central. We are going to code it to office supplies expense. And we're also going to set the global dimensions 1 and 2 to admin and large. Now, you don't have to go to the vendor card to set these defaults. If you select them on the screen and click the set vendor defaults, it will automatically take care of that for you. Now, before I submit this, I do want to add a support document. One of the great things about Datahaven with our document management capabilities is throughout this process, it's going to allow users to add other supporting files. In this case, I'm going to browse out to our network folder. I'm just going to grab a file for this example. I'm just going to put a W9. And once that file has been uploaded, we're going to mark it as support. So now we got this document. I'm going to go ahead and submit this purchase invoice. We'll go ahead and click yes. The process of submitting is now going to create the purchase invoice within Business Central. It's going to route the invoice into an approval workflow. And I've been able to do that with a couple of clicks, not needing to rekey all this information. So it's an incredible time saver. And once again, will help organizations realize any early payment discounts that vendors offer. Now, just to take a quick look at the purchase invoice that was created, on the screen, we can see the office supplies expense. The fact that this has been routed into an approval workflow, the current queue that it's in, so in this case, it's in a departmental approval workflow, and the posting description note that I added in the verified panel has been passed over to the purchase invoice record. The next step in the process is for the team to be able to approve this invoice and then move on to have it being paid. When Datahaven routes an invoice into an approval process, it can either be approved directly from within Business Central using the approve or reject buttons that are available within the Datahaven fact box. We also have a workflow portal that would enable users to log in and approve it from there. But one of the most popular ways of approving a vendor invoice is using our easy approval process. And what that involves is Datahaven will actually send an email to the approver and allow them to approve it directly from email. Now, here's an example of an email that was sent out using Datahaven's easy approval process. This email can go to both Business Central users and non-Business Central users, so you don't need to have a Business Central license in order to use this feature. As you can see in the email, we've got a purchase invoice, we've got a copy of the invoice attached, and instructions on how to approve or reject this invoice. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and approve it, and the way I do that is simply click on reply to the email and type in approve. And I'm just going to mark it to please pray ASAP, and then I'm going to click send. In a few moments, I'll receive a notification that the easy approval was successfully processed, but let's actually go in and see that within Business Central. Now that we're back within Business Central, on the right-hand side, we can see the invoice, the vendor invoice attachment. And if I look at the bottom, it's indicated that this is been approved. It's currently ready to post. But at any point, a user, if they want to see a full audit trail on this document, they can go into the Datahaven notes area where I can see all information that pertains to this particular document. And this is available for any file stored using Datahaven. One of my favorite features is the fact that there's a lot of information here, and really all I want to see is the approval notes. So I'm just going to click on the only show approval notes, and it's removed everything else except for the area where it shows that this was routed for approval and it was approved by, in this case, the department from the departmental approval queue. I just showed an overview of how Datahaven can streamline the processing of non-PO-based invoices, and the system is going to be smart enough to detect when a duplicate comes in. These invoices have been processed without anyone have to key in the information, and all of that information has been passed along to the payment journal in a way that allows users to be able to reference all the supporting document directly from the payment journal without having to navigate back and forth to the individual invoices. Overall, this is going to ensure that the AP team is processing invoices as efficiently as possible to ensure that all early payment discounts are met. If you'd like more information, please reach out to the Datahaven team. We'd be happy to show you a deep dive into the software and learn about your requirements.